Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And this is going to be, again, another warning for the brothers. Now, let me say this to all the so-called black women out there, to the sisters, to the black American women out there. It's judgment time. It's straight up judgment time. And as the judgment time comes, we're going to talk about how black girl magic, Jezebel spirit, and the simps who have destroyed good Afro men, attacked them, came after them, how there's a price to pay for all of that. So if you are one of the melanated that consider yourself one of those parts of the group, if you are a sister, you must let yourself be known to the brothers so that we can protect you. The rest will be judged and are being judged. All right. So before I get into this, let me greet everybody real quick, and we'll talk about this Jezebel spirit, or Ialal spirit that is within the melanated across the diaspora. All right. So, Havorten Hardugu dog, all the way to the Bane, Vasas Los, Bonjour, mes amis, Kedabawani Konichiwa, Nia Nia Ma, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habarigani, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Kamustaka, Kamustakukayo, and Talafa Lava Soifu. All right. So, before we break this down, let me remind you, let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. And my Cash App and my PayPal me will be in the description box. Now, also in the description box will be about 4 links about an incident. Read about the incident and then let me know what you think about said incident, right? And you gotta cover yourself. You have to cover yourself. All right, brothers and sisters, you have to cover yourselves. Those who are not spiritually led may have already made a grievous error. All right, the only way you make this error is if you were not spiritually led and you were not the chosen. Because the chosen will know better. Not should have known better, not could have known better, but will know better. All right, so let's roll on. Now that judgment is about to hit, this is why it's going to hit. Nobody ever argued, nobody ever said that don't disagree with the behavior of the BAW, that they weren't good looking. But see, that's part of the problem. See, Jezebel was a wicked, wicked woman. All right. What made her wicked was her attributes. We know her for the makeup, but that isn't her attributes. That's the uniform that outwardly expressed who she was on the inside, and that was fake and wicked. Yes, all that makeup expresses on the outside who you are on the inside. You want to be fake and involved in witchcraft. So what is witchcraft? It is the altering of one's perception for the sole purpose of deception. So how does makeup come into that? You have a man perceive that you look a particular way, and you do it in order to deceive him into a relationship with you. And you apply the witchcraft each morning so that the woman he went to bed with is not the woman that you see out in the street. And because he's already sucked in, oh well, it's over. Now, so wicked is this woman that it was referenced in Revelation by the author of Revelation that was trying to make a point. Because so heinous was the activities of this woman that every Hebrew knew about her the same way we know about the Jezebel spirit now. All right, and so Revelation, when it was quote unquote talking to the churches or group of people, it says, I hold this against you that you allow that woman, Iezbel, who called herself a prophetess, to teach and lead my servants astray, to commit whoring, and to eat food offered to idols. This is basically what the BW does in the Afro community. Even Shiraz Ali was trying to teach her how to cook for her family, but not only did the BAW not want to cook, thinks that's beneath her. She'll cook for a Caucasian man on a job. She'll cook at a restaurant for minimum wage. But she will not get a husband that can take care of bills, and her only duty is to serve him while he takes care of her. All right, because, you know, she ain't doing that. She'll do that for a Caucasian man, just not for an Afro man. So there's judgment for that. Right? He said, I gave her time to repent of her whoring, and she did not repent. Again, y'all know my message to the BAW was, you don't repent. I made a video about how she doesn't repent. You know what she did? She blocked the video and had it struck. Right? Now is going to be time for judgment. See, I am throwing her into a sick bed, funny, and those who commit adultery with her into the great affliction unless they repent their works. So there is still time, especially for the brothers. We know that the hearts of the BAW is hard, but especially for the brothers, there is still time. And I see a lot of dudes are starting to come around and starting to listen to brothers like me that have been telling them this stuff since 2009. All right. We watch things get progressively worse. I told you what would happen once Trump was out of office. I told you. I warned you. And it wasn't about Trump. Because as y'all know, in the beginning, I wasn't a Trump fan. And I'm a Trump fan because of what he tried to do. But I'm a Trump fan because he did the one thing that I wanted to be done, and that was he exposed the political system for what it was. I'm not saying he was a great man, president, or anything. He exposed the political system for what it was, a tyrannical organization. All right, and it's a tyrannical organization that couldn't work without the help of the BW. Oh, y'all better understand this. And I shall say, I shall slay her children with death, and all the assembly shall know that I am the one searching the kidneys and hearts, and I shall give each one of you according to your works. Remember, they start making these things and laws to come after the children. Nobody said that these women were not beautiful. We said they are turning out to be dangerous, like Iezbel. Iezbel is what we would usually say they turned into Jezebel. All right, I want y'all to understand this. And because there is no protection over the children, when they destroyed the homes, when the women got rid of the men, when the women decided to war against the men, It left them alone. And now their DNA may have been altered because they were not wise enough to see. And you got some women who were going the way of Jezebel who will repent, but most will not. This is kind of the mentality of the Jezebel. It's exactly the same in the BAW today. Listen to this. Kings. 1 Kings 21:7. So Iezbel, his wife, Ahab, all right, said to him, do you now rule over Israel? Rise up and eat food. So let me tell you what happened. The king wanted somebody's vineyard, offered to pay for it, but the guy said no because it's passed down throughout the family. All right. He said, I will move you to another vineyard. Oh, you know, like the Caucasians did to us when we were called Indians. That there was the plantation reservation, and then they robbed us of our name and history and culture. Kind of the beginnings of this. The dude wouldn't sell the land or give it up to the king. I want y'all to understand this. The dude wouldn't sell his land or give it to the king of Israel because that's not the nature of the king of Israel. He can't just take stuff from the people. That's against the Most High's commandments for a king that they weren't supposed to have anyway. But the Most High said that kings will do this, right? So what happened, he went back and Jezebel started pumping him up. Jezebel started pumping him up. You're the king of Israel. Don't worry about it. I'll get that land for you. All right. And so this is basically what happened. She said, rise up, eat food, let your heart be glad. Let me give you the vineyard of Naboth, the Israelite. All right. Now, the reason why she called him the Israelite, because she wasn't one. All right. She came and turned Ahab around. That's why you don't get with a woman that wants to be the man in the house. That's why you don't get with none of these masculine wannabe women running around with these masculine spirits. That is the spirit of Jezebel. When the woman wants to rule over the man and make the man do what she wants him to do, you lose the whole land and the land goes into wickedness. All right. Then she wrote a letter in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal and sent the letters to elders and the nobles who were dwelling in the city with Naboth. Now, let me say this. This is the reason why the entire black community is going to be judged. Because the BAW, the black woman, is not by herself in all of this. The elders, preachers, politicians, so-called black leaders, all right, that had other people that actually did good in the community, helped them to be killed, and then used their death to get political power, to get rich. Everybody is going to be punished for this. All right. Following the Jezebel spirit, using the black woman to destroy the good men, and then empowering her, and then to continue to use her. And while she's using the system too, everybody shall fall. And she wrote a letter saying, proclaim a fast and seat Naboth at the head of the people, and seat 2 men, sons of Belial, or Bel, sons of Belial, all right, before him to bear witness against him, saying, you have blasphemed Elohim and the sovereign. Then you shall take them out and stone them to death. And they did this. First of all, these are sons of people that were worshiping another god. It was BAW getting thugs to set a good man up so that she could take the good man's possession. Nowadays, she just used the family court system to take the man's child and his money and his possession. It's called a divorce decree. All right? And it is a setup. When you marry them, they divorce you and take half your stuff. All right? If you don't like it, they will get their Pookies and Ray Ray boyfriends to come jack you up, set you up, murder you, falsely accuse you. Oh, and we're not going to talk about all the false cases to begin with, Bill Cosby, where you can accuse a man, he goes to jail based on the word of a woman. All right? That's the Iezbel spirit, the Jezebel spirit. They have a habit of getting their thug thizzle for shizzle my nizzle frizzles to come and F you up or F up your life. These women have been doing this since before slavery, which is how it began, while they were roaming around here. This is how a lot of Africa have many tones that are way lighter because they mixed with the Portuguese primarily, all right, with the Netherlands primarily, people coming down from Holland, all right, and so that's where Afrikaans come from. Caucasian people went down, got the best land, and then even though they were the minority, they were able to run over the entire South Africa as a minority. And only with Mandela did they start standing up and realize that, wait a minute, we outnumber these people. And they're still selling out to the Caucasians. Think about how mind-whipped they are. But they don't act as men, not holy men, not spiritual men, and not men of their own culture to do this. Now, you got some of the South Africans standing up, and you got the Eswatini, where the Zulus are, who maintain their culture. See, because the so-called black man decided to follow the black woman instead of vice versa, the Afro people in America do not have culture either. We have a woman that's been destroying us by the boatloads. All right, when we talk about the abortion, 24 million to 60 million if you count New Hampshire, California, and Maryland. We know the 24 million for sure because that's in the data. All right, but California, Maryland, and New Hampshire wasn't in that data. They have their own, and you have to go specifically to those states and get it and add it in. Yes, it's horrific. We're talking about what black women did to the Afro community. They sacrificed their children, and most of the abortions were males. Tell me what this sounds like. Deuteronomy 12 and 31. Do not do so to Jehovah, your Elohim, for every abomination which Jehovah hates, they have done to their mighty ones, for they burn their sons and daughters, so they kill their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. Only they do it in their wombs. But they're sacrificing to the God of the government, the God of their feelings. All right, and because they celebrate Christmas, Easter, then that's the Baal. They're celebrating the Baal and Ishtar. Think about it. These women understand this. Will say, "My body, my choice." All right, but we're finding out that's only if you're going to kill. Do you have your body, your choice? Because if you want to preserve yourself, you don't have the choice to preserve yourself. The government is slowly taking that away. Not even slowly, they're rapidly taking that away. So in order to fight the government, you're going to have to arm yourself so that you can have a choice. If you live in particular states that won't stand up for the rights of its people. But then again, the people threw their rights away because they allowed the media to get them to hate a guy that was standing up for their rights, even though we could disagree with him on certain things. But he was standing up for your rights. And now you won't even have the right to make money. Jeremiah 19:3. And shall say, hear the word of Yahweh, O sovereigns of Yehuda, and inhabitants of Jerusalem, Shalayim, Yerushalayim. That's how that is. All right, that says Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel. See, I am bringing evil on this place that makes the ears tingle, all who hear it. Jeremiah 19:4. Because thou hast forsaken me and have profaned this place and have burned incense in it to other mighty ones, whom neither they or their fathers sovereigns of Yehuda have known. So we have not known about no Jesus to be worshipped as God. We have not known that. And because we decided to worship the white man's fabrication of a deity to take the place of the Most High, when he says, thou shalt have no other one before my face, no other mighty ones before my face, thou shalt not make any graven image or the heavens, earth, and sea and bow down to them. That's exactly what we did. We as a people took the white man's creative image, Jesus, bowed down to that, and then put it on statues and wear Jesus pieces, i.e. crosses, and bow down and pray to that. Right? They have filled this place with the blood of innocence. The blood of innocence of all those children that was destroyed in the womb of the black woman because she had no regards for it. Right? And have built the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for ascending offering to Baal. So the offering Baal worshippers is the government. For those of you that don't understand, we follow Roman government, Roman religion, and that's Apollo or Baal worship. All right, which I did not command you or speak, nor did it come into my heart. Therefore, see, the days are coming, declares Jehovah, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, or the valley of the son of Hinnom, but rather the valley of slaughter. The valley of slaughter, with appropriate name for the womb of the BAW, which has killed more Afro people than all other things that has killed us combined. Yes, even to include this new pestilence that has been created. These women seek worship, all right? They adorn themselves just like Jezebel, right? Understand this, Psalms 106, 36 through 39. And serve their idols. They became a snare to them. And they, 37, and they slaughtered their sons and daughters to demons, 38. And they shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, whom they slaughtered to idols of Canaan. And the land was defiled with blood. And that's what's really going on in the so-called black community. So they became unclean by their works and went a whoring. by their own deeds. If this is not the modern day BAW, went a-whoring by their own deeds in the black community after aborting so many. Think about this. All that blood is on their hands. Not only the ones that went through the procedure, but the ones that said they had the right to do that. The ones when we said, no, it's evil. All right, some people had to repent. We thought it was okay in the beginning until we really looked at it and really got spiritual about it and started putting it together. Wait a minute, if a man hits a pregnant woman, he goes to jail, but the woman could go to a clinic and nothing happens. Okay? The Most High is judging this, and us as a community. And some of us, the righteous, will leave it. At the end of the day, I kept telling you, be careful who you follow. And for the men, we shouldn't have been following the BAW anyway, because that was against the Most High. We were given sovereign over the woman. Why? Because when we're not, well, you see the evidence of what happens. That's why we need to seek wives from outside of the community, and we need zones now where we could be free. Remember, to the BAW, welcome to the wall. To the sisters, look up for the righteous brothers, because we will protect you. And remember, when we end up with wives from other communities that will follow the commandments, understand, you built that wall for yourself. You burnt down the house. Now, enjoy it to yourself. To you simps, this is a no depolicing zone. With that said, I'm out. Oh, and these are the links that will be in the description box. All right. Now, with that said, I'm out.